There was a small room on the third floor of an old public library that very few people noticed, not because it was hidden, but because nothing about it asked for attention, and yet those who entered it felt something unusual almost immediately, as if the air itself carried a gentler rhythm, one that encouraged slower breathing and quieter thoughts. And over the years people began to realize that this room had a way of responding to time differently, not by stopping it or reversing it, but by speaking to it softly, reminding it not to rush. Clara Evans, an archivist accustomed to order and precision, discovered the room on an afternoon when her carefully planned schedule collapsed under the weight of delayed trains, unanswered emails, and a lingering sense that she was always arriving slightly too late, and stepping into the room felt less like entering a space and more like stepping out of urgency itself, because the ticking clock on the wall did not demand attention. It simply existed, marking moments without pressure. As Clara spent time there, cataloging documents no one requested anymore, she noticed that memories surfaced naturally in the room, not the dramatic ones, but the quiet details she had overlooked. The sound of her father humming while fixing things that did not need repair, the feeling of finishing a book without checking how many pages were left, the calm acceptance of evenings that required no productivity, and the room received these memories without interruption, allowing them to unfold at their own pace. Others visited the room too, though rarely at the same time, because the room seemed to understand that reflection preferred privacy, and it offered different lessons to each person. A student realized that studying was not the same as learning, a writer understood that pauses belonged in sentences as much as words, an elderly man finally allowed himself to stop measuring his life by milestones he could no longer reach, and when they left, they did so without urgency, carrying a quieter sense of alignment with them. One evening, as the library prepared to close, Clara remained seated, aware that the room was not asking her to stay, only offering the choice to listen, and in that stillness she understood something she had never written in any archive: time does not need to be controlled to be respected, and when she eventually stood and turned off the light, the room returned to its gentle waiting, ready to speak softly again to anyone who needed to hear that slowing down was not the same as falling behind. The room, in its enduring and patient silence, became a subtle testament to the idea that some spaces exist not for function but for reconciliation, a place where the relentless forward march of hours and days could be gently persuaded into a more compassionate cadence, where individuals burdened by the weight of constant doing could briefly remember the profound dignity of simply being. And though no official record of its effect was ever kept, the library staff began to notice a certain quality in the patrons who emerged from the third floor: a softened gaze, an unhurried step, a palpable sense of having been heard by something they could not name, and so the room continued its quiet work, an unassuming sanctuary in the heart of the bustling building, forever holding the door ajar for those who sought, whether knowingly or not, a temporary truce with the tyranny of the clock and a return to the spaciousness inherent in every unrushed, fully inhabited moment.